BYE Boost Your English Episode 47, Iron Maiden, A History of Lineup Changes and Metal Mastery. Welcome back to BYE Boost Your English, the podcast that helps you sharpen your language skills through compelling topics. Today, we're plunging into the monumental history of one of the greatest bands in heavy metal, Iron Maiden. Spanning 5 decades of relentless touring and creative evolution, their story's one of rock and roll resilience, iconic musicians, and a few dramatic lineup changes. Up the irons. Iron Maiden was formed on Christmas Day 1975 in Leyton, East London, by a 19-year-old bassist named Steve Harris. Before founding the band, Harris had already played in 2 short-lived outfits, Gypsy Kiss and Smiler, and had briefly considered a career as a professional footballer for West Ham United before choosing music instead. He took the band's name from a scene in the 1939 film The Man in the Iron Mask, referring to the medieval torture device of the same name. Interestingly, Harris was unaware, at the time, that another band already performed under the name Iron Maiden. According to his own account, that earlier group rang him up to complain, only to be told, rather bluntly, to back off. The dispute never went any further, and it was Harris's band that would go on to make the name immortal. The band's first lineup for the 1980 self-titled debut album was formidable. Paul Di'Anno on vocals, the indispensable Dave Murray, whose fluid, Hendrix-inspired style relies heavily on repeated hammer-on and pull-off movements, bassist Steve Harris, and drummer Clive Burr. Harris, the uncompromising leader with a fiery temper, was the driving force. He's celebrated for his unique bass-playing technique, often emphasizing a demanding, high-volume presence, a quality highlighted by Billy Sheehan in a 1990s Guitar World issue. Towards the end of 1980, guitarist Adrian Smith replaced Dennis Stratton, joining in time for the 1981 album Killers. Smith's a prodigious talent whose playing has influenced countless guitarists, including John Petrucci, and whose Jackson signature model's reportedly one of the world's best-selling. This era also marked the arrival of the renowned producer Martin Birch, a true sound engineer who treated the music with respect and gave the band its signature depth. The 1982 masterpiece The Number of the Beast heralded a major shift, the departure of Di'Anno and the arrival of the charismatic Bruce Dickinson. Dickinson, whose soaring, operatic voice became synonymous with Maiden, often caused friction with Harris, who reportedly felt overshadowed. The album's themes, including a notorious Bible passage, the massacre of Native Americans, a condemned man's last words, and the life of a prostitute, provoked harsh criticism from conservative, evangelical circles in the United States, sometimes described in the press as WASP communities, who branded the band as controversial. In 1983, for Peace of Mind, an album Harris reportedly wanted to call June, Nico McBrain took over on drums, replacing Clive Burr. McBrain had previously played with the French band Trust, who'd supported Maiden on tour, and in a curious twist of fate, it was Clive Burr himself who took McBrain's old seat in Trust as the 2 drummers effectively swapped bands. McBrain isn't only an exceptionally gifted drummer, few were, or are, as accomplished at that age, but also a lively showman, affectionately nicknamed the Thrasher for his powerful, machine-gun-precise playing style. This lineup, widely considered the golden age of Maiden, lasted until 1988's Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. The band's initial golden run was curtailed by a dispute between Smith and Harris. Smith favored continuing down the path of progressive metal and concept albums, while Harris wished to revert to a more aggressive, stripped-down sound. Smith was subsequently ousted in 1990. He was replaced by Janik Zhuz, often described as a spiritual son of Ritchie Blackmore. Zhuz's arrival led to the period where Blaze Bayley fronted the band for 2 albums, The X Factor in 1995 and Virtual 11 in 1998, after Dickinson himself had left to pursue a solo career. The classic lineup was restored on the 10th of February, 1999, when the band officially announced the return of both Dickinson and Smith, resulting in a 3-guitarist formation alongside Zhuz. This reunion was celebrated with a series of concerts, including a sold-out show at Bercy in Paris on the 9th of September, 1999, in front of 15,000 fans. The band's longtime manager, Rod Smallwood, later named it among the 10 most memorable concerts of Maiden's entire career. 4 years, the band, as confirmed during an announcement in Stockholm in 2005, largely refused to play their early classics live. This was arguably due to audience preference, as many fans dislike Chaz's approach to the solos originally written for Smith. In recent years, Maiden has acknowledged the audience's love for Smith, evident in his increasing prominence on the albums The Book of Souls and Senjutsu. As the years advance, Nico McBrain has stepped down from touring after 42 years behind the kit, and Simon Dawson, previously of Harris's side project British Lion, has taken his place for the ongoing Run for Your Lives World Tour. The metal world waits to see what the future holds for the next chapter, or indeed, if there will be one. Now, let's refine your English with 14 powerful words and phrases drawn from the history of Iron Maiden. To plunge into, phrasal verb to start doing something or talking about something in a very enthusiastic or sudden way. Example, the historian decided to plunge into the archives to find new information. Moniker, noun, a name or nickname. Example, the famous guitarist often uses the moniker Axeman. Indispensable, adjective, absolutely necessary. Example, a good laptop is indispensable for working remotely. Fiery temper, compound noun, phrase, a tendency to become angry very quickly and strongly. Example, despite his fiery temper, the director was respected by everyone. Prodigious, adjective, remarkably or impressively great in extent, size, or degree, extraordinary. Example, she demonstrated prodigious skill on the piano at a young age. Heralded, verb, past tense, announced or presented in a formal or public way, was a sign that something was about to happen. Example, the invention of the internet heralded a new age of communication. Synonymous with, adjective, phrase so closely associated with something that the two things suggest each other. Example, the Eiffel Tower is synonymous with Paris. To be overshadowed, passive voice, to be made to seem unimportant or less successful by something else. Example, his new book was overshadowed by the success of his debut novel. Controversial, adjective, giving rise to public disagreement or argument. Example, the politician's comments proved to be highly controversial. To be curtailed, passive voice, to reduce in extent or quantity, to impose a restriction on. Example, the company's spending was curtailed due to low sales. Subsequent, subsequently, adjective, adverb, coming after something in time. Example, he missed the first lecture and subsequently struggled with the material. To acknowledge, verb, to accept or admit the existence or truth of something. Example, the manager had to acknowledge the team's hard work. Sold out, adjective, describing an event for which every ticket has been bought. Example, the band played to a sold-out arena on their final night. To pave the way, idiom, to create a situation that makes it possible for something to happen or progress. Example, the new agreement paved the way for a lasting partnership between the two companies. That concludes our journey through the epic career and intricate lineup changes of Iron Maiden. Their enduring legacy in heavy metal and their commitment to powerful storytelling have cemented their place as rock icons. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into metal history and significantly enhanced your English vocabulary. Now that the comments section is officially open on YouTube, I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode. What is your favorite Iron Maiden era or lineup? Which album or guitar solo stands out most to you? Please share your reactions, ideas, and requests in the comments below, keeping our discussion respectful and constructive for everyone in our community. Thank you for tuning in to BYE Boost Your English. Join us next time for another exciting episode. Until then, keep boosting your English. Bye for now.
Keep boosting your English.